Hey cool kids, it's Megan, and today I thought I would talk about some names that have kind of a cool modern sound to them, maybe a little rocker tie or a hip edge. And I've got 30 names, and what I'm going to do is just talk about them in alphabetical order, not in order of my favorites, so that we can pick our favorites at the end. And also, I'm not going to separate them out by sex because a lot of these names I think work well for a boy or a girl. So first up I have Arden, and Arden is a unisex name. It's an English surname that means Eagle Valley, a name used by Shakespeare as well. I do think that Arden has a little bit more edge when it's used on a girl for whatever reason, but it does work well for a boy as well. And for a boy, I think it makes a really good alternative to the much more popular name Aiden. Then I've got Axel. So Axel actually comes from the name Absalom, which means father of peace, and it's number 167 in popularity for boys in the United States right now, and it has the cool association to the rocker Axl Rose. Then we have Beckett, and Beckett is an English place name and surname meaning beak, like a beak on a bird, or string. It's number 279 for boys in this country. If you watch the show Castle, there's a detective called Kate Beckett, and her colleagues call her Beckett, so I think of her when I hear this name. This name is also a name that many celebrities have given to their little boys, and I think Beckett just kind of, if you say it, Beckett, it has like a cool little zip to it or something, and it's a really neat way, I think, to honor someone named Rebecca, if you didn't want to use the name Rebecca. Then I've got cash. So cash is a word name for cash, like cash money. It's also diminutive of names like Cassius or Cassius or Casper. And on its own, not as a nickname, it's number 243 for boys in the United States. And the Johnny Cash Association is what I think gives this name major cool points. Cruz is next, and Cruz is a Spanish name meaning cross. It's number 278 for boys right now in the United States, and it's just a powerful little one-syllable name that ends in a Z. Something about that Z just gives names a little bit of a cool modern feel to me, and it was a name used by Victoria and David Beckham for one of their little boys. Then I've got Diem. Diem is a Latin name meaning day. You might recognize it from the common phrase carpe diem, meaning seize the day. It's also a Vietnamese name that means pretty, and I think Diem has a really cool, interesting sound to it. If I met a little girl named Diem, I would definitely want to hear more about her name and the story behind it. Next is Finch. Finch is the name of a cute little bird. It's also the surname of the Finch family in To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch and crew. And I think the nickname Finn for Finch is totally usable and very much on trend. We're seeing more and more Finn names rising up. Then I have Gage. Gage is a French name that comes from an English surname, and it means oath or pledge. It's currently number 188 in popularity for boys. It might remind you of the Pet Cemetery. I think that this name, though, is really, really fitting for a rock star. If I was writing a story and had to name a rocker, I might just name him Gage. Another G name for you is Greer. Greer comes from the Scottish name Gregor, which means watchful or alert, and I really love this name as a middle name, especially for a girl paired with a really feminine kind of frilly first name. I think it really would anchor the name and kind of give it a cool balance. Then I've got Harlow. Harlow is an English surname meaning army or rock. It's number 540 for girls in the United States. Another name that celebrities love to give their little girls. And I think it's kind of just got a cool nod to the old Hollywood starlet Jean Harlow. Then I have Holden. Holden is an English name meaning hollow or deep valley. It's number 287 for boys. Another literary favorite from the story by J.D. Salinger, The Catcher in the Rye. I love that book. I love that name, but I associate that name with such sadness, so I don't think I could use it. But kudos to you if you want to use it. Next is Journey. Journey is a word name, has a nice meaning to it. It has been spelled many different ways. I prefer just kind of the classic one here. It is also the name of an 80s band. That kind of gives it some cool points. And it's currently number 334 for girls in the United States. Then I have Juniper. Juniper is a tree name. It's number 648, and I think it's a cool counterpart or modern answer to the name Jennifer, which was wildly popular in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And Juniper and Jennifer have a similar sound, but Juniper being a nature name and just kind of like got a little southern vibe to it too. Then I have Kai. Kai is a name used in so many different countries and cultures, so there are many meanings of this name. One meaning that I like is the Hawaiian meaning, which is sea, and for boys right now Kai is number 199 in the United States, although it is being used for boys and girls as a nickname and a given name. Then I have Keir. Keir is an Irish surname meaning dark or black, and it kind of follows the surname trend. Also, Irish names are pretty popular right now in the United States, in particular boys' names, and so it kind of fits both of those. And for such a small little name, it really has a good punch to it. Then I have Knight. Yep, Knight with a K. It's kind of what gives it a little cool factor. Another English word name. I think it makes for an edgy choice, maybe as a middle name. I could totally see a celebrity using this name, like Rocco Knight, or even just a regular person, like if you wanted a more traditional name, like David. David Knight kind of sounds cool. I don't know. Then I've got Lux. Lux is a Latin name meaning light, and it's just got this really cool mix to me of like the soft feminine L sound ending with a big X ending there, a lot of punch to it. This name is another one that, like Holden, just I associate with a character. I associate it with Lux from the book The Virgin Suicides, and so Lux and Holden, both names I like the sound of. I like the characters just fine, but I think of just overwhelming sadness when I think of those, so not usable to me, but really cool names nonetheless. Then I've got Maverick. Maverick is a word name meaning nonconformist or a rebel. Really shot up the charts the last 10 years, used in lots of pop culture. Think Top Gun, think of Maverick with Mel Gibson, think of the Sarah Palin campaign. Yeah, Maverick's a cool choice. Nova is next, and Nova is a Latin name meaning new. It's number 529 for girls. It's got the nice, cool, celestial feel to it. The cool thing about Nova to me is that it's not overused. It is easy to say and to spell, and it's just got a little interestingness to it. Interestingness? Yeah, go with that. Okay, then I've got Olive. Olive is an English word name from a Latin name meaning olive tree, currently number 291 for girls, and it does have a vintage vibe to it. It's a vintage name making a comeback. Another name celebrities are loving to use for their little girls, and it is the name of a food, so maybe that's cool. I don't know. Then I've got Penn. Okay, so Penn is an English name meaning enclosure. It sounds very familiar. It sounds very much like Ben with a B, but with that slight twist on it, which I think makes it cool. Another one, recognizable, easy to say and spell, but not even in the top 1,000, so that's kind of neat. Then I've got Rylan. Rylan sounds very modern and current to me and fresh. It's Irish and English in background. It means island meadow or rye land. For boys it's number 201, and for girls it's number 816 in the US. Then I've got Shiloh. Shiloh is an Old Testament name, Hebrew name, and it means tranquil, awesome meaning. I think Shiloh has such a cool sound to it. It's number 633 for girls in the United States. This name got a bit of a boost when Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt used it for their little girl. I, however, think of it as I was a freshman in college. There was a senior named Shiloh, and he was just like the coolest guy. Like his clothes, everything, he just oozed whatever cool is. Like he wasn't the most handsome man or anything, but I cannot get that image of what a Shiloh is out of my head, so I do tend to think of it as a boy. And then I've got Skylar. I'm going to put two spellings up on the screen. The first one is the original spelling. It is a Dutch name meaning scholar. That first spelling, the SCH spelling, is not in the top 1,000 for boys or girls. However, the second spelling that I've got for you, the SKY one, is pretty close when you look at the charts. For boys, that spelling is number 306 in the US, and for girls it's 362. Then I've got Sloane, and whenever I hear this name, I automatically automatically think of Sloane Peterson from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and she was just like the quintessential cool teenage girl when I was little and watching that movie. Sloane is an Irish surname. It means raider, and for girls it's currently number 406. Then I've got Sterling. Sterling is an English name meaning highest quality. It's number 581 for boys in the United States. And I think of this as another one that could be used by a rock star. Definitely not the name of a wallflower to me. Next up is Sutton. Sutton is an English name that means from the Southern Homestead. It's number 832 for girls. It reminds me of the Broadway actress Sutton Foster, who's gorgeous. And I think Sutton is really just interesting and different, and not a name that I hear very much. Then I've got Tierney. Tierney is Irish, and it means descendant of a lord. It's such a great underused name, and it might remind you too of the old Hollywood star, Gene Tierney. Then I've got True. True is another word name. I love this as a word name. I do like it a lot, again, and the middle name spot. It's just got a great ring to it. And it sort of counts as a word name and maybe even like a virtue name. Great meaning, great sound. And then the last one on my list today is Zara. Zara is both Hebrew and Arabic in its origins. It means princess or blossom. It's number 482 in popularity. You might recognize this as being the name of the popular clothing store. It's also got a really similar and familiar sound because it's similar to Sarah with an S. So now that we've talked about a couple of cool baby names, I'm going to quickly put them on the screen and say them again and pick my favorites. I invite you to pick your favorites and comment them below. Also, feel free to comment any other names that you think are pretty cool. Okay, so the names I just talked about were Arden, Axel, Beckett, Cash, Cruz, Diem, Finch, Gage, Greer, Harlow, Holden, Journey, Juniper, Keir, Knight, Lex, Maverick, Nova, Olive, Penn, Rylan, Shiloh, Skylar, Sloane, Sterling, Sutton, Tierney, True, and Zara. So my favorites, I love Greer, Holden, and Sutton, and Shiloh. Can I have 4 favorites? Okay, those are my 4 favorites. Favorite as many as you want in the comments. And then when I was making this list, I noticed that a lot of the names that I was thinking of were names that I used in my Spunky Names for Kids video, which I did about a month ago. I will link that down in the description box for you below, because those are kind of modern and fun names like Piper and Sailor and stuff like that people are loving as well. So I thought they might kind of fit in this style as well a bit. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Do comment below. I love hearing from you, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.